and welcome once again to another edition of the Other People Show. I'm Adam,
I am Jake.
and we have a great show. Katie, Lana, thank you both lovely ladies for tuning into the show. I had a guest, well, not really a guest, but an audience member watching the show earlier,
Oh,
but
wow.
they left. So I
Oh,
guess they didn't want to stick around for the show.
okay.
So what's been going on, man?
Not too much. You know what? I have taken up a new hobby as of this week.
Really?
I am now playing golf.
I saw that on your Instagram account.
Yes, my dad got me some golf clubs, and I went out and I went to the driving range a few times for the last few weeks. And then my brother-in-law was like, "Let's go out golfing," and I said, "All right." And I went out there with no expectations, and I'm like, as long as I don't hit somebody in the face, that I'm happy with it. And I had a ton of fun. So now I'm a
Really?
golfer as soon as I'm actually leaving for Detroit, where there's no golf courses. So
Oh,
yeah, we're headed back to the cold north next week.
Well,
So next time I do a show, I'll be back in my apartment.
So what was the most fun aspect of golfing?
I don't know. It's like you're outdoors and there's these big open areas and you get to play a sport and then you get to drive around the carts. You can't beat that. And you get to just wail on a little ball. Just so many.
Now, one time, now this might be surprising, but one time when I was in ninth grade, I didn't care for school very much. So I tried to be in every activity that I could to get out of going or being at school as long as possible. So I joined the golf team with no expectations of even really knowing how to play other than being a supreme champion at putt-putt, which I was very good at one point. So I did join the golf team, and I was able to golf in several different, not tournaments, but I was there several different times. But one of the guys that he joined the same time I did, crashed. Well, actually turned over the golf cart.
Nice.
And it was one of the most hilarious things I had seen up to that point. Now, I wasn't on it. I happened to see it happen, which was even better.
I heard a friend of ours actually drove a golf cart into a lake, and it sank. And It's gone. It's at the bottom of the lake now.
Well, I guess things like that do happen. So so you've taken up golf. It's been
taking up golf. Yeah, can't beat it. It's fun. Do you still, or do you not anymore? Do they still have putt-putt?
I was very serious. I almost went to. This is something you don't know about me. I don't think Lana nor Katie know this either. I said Lana.
Lana.
Yeah, sorry. I always say names wrong.
Atlanta.
Yes. I was so close to being a professional putt-putt player. Yes, very few people knew this. I have a shirt, and I need to display it next time. It's got a little miniature golf, putter, and a little miniature golf ball, and it says "Almost Pro" on it. And it's like a little golf shirt. It has a collar, a little golf shirt, and I wore it when I was in these little tournaments around town.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
is there still putt-putt in Wise? I knew there was one used to be in Wise.
It's not there now, but there is in Kingsport.
Oh.
And I actually played maybe about a month ago.
Oh. How'd you do?
Shelly and I tied both. We played 36 holes, and we tied both times.
Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Both times. And there were two different ones. We got a hole in one.
Really?
Different cars, yeah. But we were not the same ones though, but
two different holes.
Yeah, and then I had played back there. Kinsley and I had played in January. So I played twice there actually this year.
That's it. The only thing I'm afraid of is I hate the stigma that goes with golf because I'm a tennis player. So we don't get along with golfers that well. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to become one of them big old dudes that rolls out there got your belly all hanging out, hitting the golf ball.
Yeah. That's the last thing
to
you
hit
want.
today. Like to me, I just want to like, that's fun. Let's just go out and hit. Or the douchey guys with their collars all popped up.
You know.
No, I want to be that.
Mm.
So I just have to watch the image.
Yeah, we'll keep that in check. But so far, I think you're good.
Thank you.
Now, I am sorry to Lana for pronouncing her name wrong 100% of the time. Lana, I'm so sorry about that. I do apologize.
Oh, poor
Um,
Lana.
Now, that being said, there's a game. It's a getting to know you game, and if people want to join in watching, called Brew Aha. You can see
Okay.
them.
Brew aha.
Yes. And these are some pretty good questions that I now have a producer for the show. As far as like getting content.
Wow, this is first class. This is like back in the old days.
Yes, just about. So there's a couple of questions that we are going to ask. Jake doesn't know the questions.
Oh boy.
And we will see how it goes. So Jake in the audience.
I did not know this was going to happen tonight.
No. Would you want to live to be 100 years old?
Is there any stipulations to that?
No.
Sure. I'd be happy to live to be 100 years old.
Now, why would you want to be 100?
I've always said this, the older you get, if people lived older, I think we would be further as a society because we're constantly generating. Plus, I want to see what happens. I think my grandmother's 93. And I think of when she was born in 1927, what the world looked like when she was like a 3-year-old in 1930.
Yeah.
Compared to what it looks like in 2021. Like she saw no TV, nothing, to the point where we have like cell phones that we can watch movies on our phones. We can do 3D experience. Like
talk to people on the other side of the world.
Immediately. Yeah. So I'm like, and I'm thinking of like where I was born in 1980s something. And if I make it to 2070s and 80s, just think about what the world's going to be like then.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely crazy.
I don't think I would want to live to be that old. I really
Why?
don't. You know, I was thinking either one of two things. I would want to be, if I were to be that old, I would want to stay looking the same age at 100. Like I would be like, okay, but stay that way forever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you would walk the earth, but as like a 37-year-old Jake or 40-year-old Jake or Adam the rest of your life. But every so often you'd have to move away because people would be like, hey, this guy's been like 45 years old.
45 forever.
100 years.
It's like Wonder Woman, or what was the other? Oh, it's like it's like my favorite comic book. My favorite superhero, Hancock.
Oh.
Where he always has to move because he's the youngest person.
Yeah.
Or he like it never changes.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I would want. I mean, if I were in good health, and could
that would be the big thing. If I was like decent health. Except if I got to like 98 and I started to decline, but I didn't know it, I think that'd be easier to die.
Yeah.
If you knew you were gonna die, that'd be hard.
Well, that's another question. Would you want to know or not?
Definitely don't want to know. Nope. No. All I would do would be thinking about it. You'd be planning your whole life about it.
But do you think in planning your whole life that you would get accomplished more or do more things because you know you have only that much time to do it?
I live my life like that. I live my life like I don't know if I'm going to make it to next year or next week.
You're the risk taker.
I don't know if I'm a risk taker, but I'm like always hustling because I know that you just got to keep working towards. You just got to keep working because you never know when it's going to be over.
Okay.
So I try to live that way, but I would never want to know when I died. Would you?
I don't. I think it would be like this for me. I think I'd say yeah. I'd like to know, but as soon as I know, I'll be like, oh, I wish I didn't know.
And like, dang it.
I would do what you said. But I would make
Exactly.
myself, hey, you want to go skydiving? I'm going. How come? Aren't you afraid? Well, I've only got until February 28th of 2025, so I have to do all these
So
things.
let's go now. It's
Yeah.
not going to kill me.
But certain things I might want to do. I want to own a certain car before I die. I'm going to get that. I want to go to a certain place. I'm going to make sure I do it. I want to try to write and make the best movie that I can possibly make. And here's the deadline, my final masterpiece. So I
Well,
don't know. There could
you
be
got
some
to live
pros
that
and
way
cons.
anyway.
What?
I said that you got to live that way anyway. That's the way I live. Of
True.
course you do. I mean, you're always hustling when, especially
I am.
work,
I am hustling. Um,
especially work.
quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Wow,
Let's see.
they're intense questions.
These are now.
A lot for
Let's.
a Thursday night.
Do you think you have any bad habits?
Oh, I have terrible habit. I just did it. It's a
What would that
really gross habit. It's really gross.
What gross habit would that be?
I pick and bite my fingers.
Okay. Okay.
Not even my fingernails, but like my fingers, like my cuticles.
Okay.
And if the more stressed I am, the more uh, nasty my hands look. And I'm kind of stressed right now, just because like all my classes are ending, and I don't have as much work. And we're heading, it's like the stress of like packing, and because we're moving back right now.
Yeah.
So I bite my hands, and it's gross.
And you've
It's
been at this
really
location
gross.
for how long now?
Since September. I've been in Lynchburg since July, but I've been in this location since September. We lived at a hotel for about 2.5 months.
Oh, September. Now, was that a good month for you or a bad month? Because everyone I know, it was like their worst month of their life.
In September,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Okay. So I'm glad you had a good one at
Yeah,
least.
I've had a good,
Okay. Good. Good.
2020 was tough, but I've never really had like a really bad, I didn't really have like a, yeah, I didn't really have like a really bad month.
Okay.
October was, April of 2020 was pretty tough, but no, it wasn't that bad.
Now, I just almost skipped over this question completely about the bad habits because I would
Mm-hmm.
just look at my life as one big bad habit. So I need to clean that mess up before I can move forward. You know
What
what I
is
mean?
your bad habit? What's your bad habit?
I mean,
Or
it
what's
could be
a
a,
bad habit?
I mean, it could be an array of things. When no one looks, I often pick my nose. That could be a bad habit. You know.
No. No, I think it would be a bad habit if you picked your nose while people were looking.
Oh, I could. I do. I
That
have
would
done
be a
those
bad
things on
habit.
purpose. I
Everybody
do
picks
that
their
on
nose when no
purpose.
one's looking.
Yes. Look away, everyone. Look away. Um, I don't know. Like a really bad habit would be is that everyone thinks that it's just part of the show, but deep down, I'm very mean. I'm a very mean person.
It's
You know,
true.
I would kick a turtle, something.
Kick a turtle. If there's something you had to kick, a turtle's probably not the worst thing in the world to kick.
So I'm a very mean person.
Yeah, we all
But
have our
that's probably one of my
streaks.
my worst habit. Now Jake has seen me. I don't know. Well, he's heard some of my bad habits, but they've
I've
not.
I've heard of your habits, but I've never really seen. I've seen the
Actually,
aftermath of some
yeah.
of your. Yeah, I've never seen the tornado. I've just seen the destruction that gets caused by.
And the weight loss, you saw the weight loss as well.
I see that. Yeah, I see that.
So, so yeah, but
Are you still doing your push-ups?
I will say this: over the last little bit, I haven't exercised quite as much as I've needed to.
Mm, we're
In
always at our
certain
best
aspects,
when
I
we're
have.
exercising.
Do what?
So we're always at our best when we're exercising.
But I will say this: I still have maintained the same weight
Oh, okay.
pretty much. So you got time for one more?
Yeah, I got time for one more. Let's go.
Okay. Let's see this. Well, how about two? Do you have time for two?
I got two more.
Okay.
Only two more though.
All right. If you could go back in time once and change one single thing, what would it be? You don't even have to say why. Just what would it be?
Oh, that's a loaded question. I could change one single
Katie
thing.
says she eats too much, she drinks too much, smokes too much, and curses too much.
You would love the Dave Matthews song called Too Much. That's literally what he says the whole song.
Yeah, that is.
Eat too much, drink too much, want to. What would I change? I'm just gonna have to like come up with something.
Okay.
I would. Yeah. Does it have to be in me, or does it have to be in history, or what is it?
I guess it could be, the phrasing of the question, anything you want. If you could go back in time once and change a single thing, what would it be? So I guess that could be anything that you choose. Yourself, something in history. And Katie loves Dave Matthews, by the way.
Oh, let's go.
So.
What would I change?
I don't want to say that I would go back and murder someone because I'm not a murderer. But if I were a murderer, I would go back and murder someone. Who? I don't know.
Oh, anyways, okay.
Anyone.
I would go back. Oh, you know what I would do? You know what I've always wanted to do? Go back in time with all the knowledge that I have and play songs that I really, really like and try to get famous with them before the people who wrote the songs wrote the songs.
Okay.
So does that work?
That would work.
Okay. I would, you know what I would probably do? I would probably go back and try to focus more on music.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do that. Or I would go back. I don't know. This is a hard one because it's like this. Do you do the selfish answer where you say something you would change about yourself? Or do you do the I'm giving my final speech for Miss America where I'm like, oh, I would go back and give the Union troops in the Civil War walkie-talkies.
I think that's what you do. Go the selfish route.
Go selfish?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you get to go back and you get to change one thing. Now, you could go back and say, yeah, I could go.
You know what I would change?
Do all that stuff, but
I'd be like, yo, let me get in on those Midnight Mutant writing meetings.
I was thinking about that as well.
That'd be a big one.
I really do. I was telling Lana the other day about how I wished that I would have I didn't know your true passion for the show as much then.
Loved it.
As now.
I'm kind of quiet. Or the other thing I would do is when I was in 9th grade, I had a really, really, really bad bike accident and I tore up my knee.
You've had knee problems ever since.
And I've had knee problems ever since, and my knee still hurts. So I might do that, or I tore up my ankle my senior year in high school. No, I'd probably fix the knee. I'd fix the knee, so I had a good knee.
Now, I don't know if this is quite a possibility, but if it were, and then we can move on to the last question, I would go back and somehow transport someone else's brain into my brain, so I would have a different brain growing up. That might be.
Who would it be?
The right way to go. Not sure.
Yeah.
But more of a mentally stable brain.
Do you ever wish you were older?
No.
I wish I lived in an earlier era.
Now I wouldn't mind
by like 10 years. Like I wish that I was in my late teens. I wish I was in my late teens in the early 90s so that I could see Dave Matthews in Charlottesville when he was a nobody and try to get on his crew.
That would be cool. Now I would want to probably be 29 if that was the age, just the rest of my life.
I'd be 28.
Because that would be,
28 was a good year for me too. Plus, I just like the number. 28 is my favorite number.
I gotta say, my 20s were actually a good. I'm still in my late 20s now, but they've been going on for over a decade, and they're really good and fun. And I could.
All right, let me ask you a question before you ask the last question.
Okay.
What would be your number if you were a baseball or basketball player?
What would be my number?
Yeah.
Um, my number would be 18.
Was that your number when you played basketball? No, you
That was
couldn't
it.
be.
I think it was.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Why?
80.
Why 18? You just like
I
that number?
oh no, but I don't know. I'd have to go produce the jersey, but I still have the
Okay.
warm up in there,
Nice.
and oddly enough, I can still wear it.
All
Perfect.
right.
But I think it was 18 though.
I was I was number 8 when I was playing baseball because I went to a minor league baseball game the other day too. First baseball game I've been to in over a year and a half. But I would
40
be 28.
number?
28 is my lucky number.
28.
Yeah. So we asked everybody in our family what that number would be. What would your producer's number be?
Producer 42. The 18
42.
or that your lucky number. That lucky number. 42 is her number answer for everything.
Oh, okay. All right. Jackie Robinson. All right.
I got to be honest. I don't mind my age any longer. It doesn't matter. So that was a big. That's something that I've grown upon. That I've come to terms with this past year.
Good.
I'll joke about it on the show. So the last question of the night is, wow, these are some
Oh boy.
interesting ones. When
This
has your integrity been questioned?
is my integrity being questioned.
Or we could just say that one in the next one because I saw
Oh my
the
lord.
I did see the look in your eye.
I was I'll say this. I'll put this out there. I was a really, really, really crappy boyfriend for many years when I dated. So I would say that was probably when my integrity was questioned. And it was probably right. Whatever their assumptions were probably right because I was a really crappy boyfriend
Well, see, that always
back when I
surprised
used to date.
me. Katie said to remind me to never play this game.
Yeah, seriously.
I see. I
Try
always
doing it on broadcast on Zoom.
see. I always thought that you were like a super nice person. So when you would say some of the stories that you would say about some of the girls you would go out with, I never assumed that it was you being a jerk or anything.
I don't know.
So what?
If you were to ask them, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's a total jerk." I don't know.
What was a jerk? A jerk thing?
I was just like,
I know. I mean, I know we faked a fake. Your ex getting shot on the show that time.
yeah, that was that was one.
We did that on live radio.
That was kind of that was a douche move.
Oh, I thought it was a fun time. I'm sorry.
Well, it was fun, but it was still a douche move.
It's shotgun, I think.
Yeah, I was just like super selfish. Like, so I dated this one girl, and she had a really, really, really expensive purse. And I used to give her the hardest time about that purse. I don't know why. I was in this thing where I didn't like when people had really expensive stuff. I used to give her the hardest time about it. And one time we were having this tiff because I was lost. I was trying to go to Gatlinburg and I got lost. And we were together and I got so mad. And I just like, for some reason, I brought up the purse. And she goes, I'm just going to roll down the window and throw the D purse outside. And I was like, at that point, I was like, oh boy. Like, it was just like stupid stuff. Like, I would just get stuck on something and just never let it go. And I would just run it into the ground. It was just, and it really, it was always like, it was never anything big, but I just wouldn't let it go. Just would not let it go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was a terrible. I don't know. You don't know how to. I don't know. I see people now, and I'm like, how do you know how to date when you're like 22 years old?
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Me either. I still don't know.
If I had to go back to dating again, I'd be lost, completely lost. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Well, I don't know. There's all these. I don't know. I guess that's a topic to just to discuss on the date show, the late date show.
Oh yeah.
Which will have episode 5 this tomorrow, right?
Nice.
Tomorrow at what, midnight? Tomorrow late. It'll be late.
What would be the topic that you were talking about?
Oh, tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to get into.
No, but what was the one you were just going to say?
Oh, about the integrity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's been times in my life. I guess it was questioned. Brought a lot of the personal life on the show. And back when Talitha used to come onto the show, as well as PST, there was an instance where they, PST, Talitha, and Kaiser, and myself drove to the show together.
Oh, I remember that one.
I was seeing Talitha. I was dating Talitha, yet seeing Terry. And we all drove to the show together.
Yep.
Now, I do wish this.
We were in the trail car. It was me,
cameras rolling,
Maytag, and
Vogue.
Yeah, and Scorpion. Yeah, because we were sitting there the whole time thinking to ourselves, what's going on in that car in front of us?
So, it was a pleasant journey over as much as it could be. But my integrity was questioned around that entire scenario. And I don't know if you recall, but there had been a couple of people call into the show because they had seen Terry and I out on the town, meaning movie stars renting Blair Witch Project. So that was brought into question as a lot, and my integrity then. And I was wrong. Did the wrong thing. And it's all been well forgotten and documented now, and we're all friends, oddly enough. But yeah. And I guess it was weird. That was right around the time you first started joining in on the show.
Yep, we were, because that was one of the first times I met Talitha.
It could have been the first time you had met her in person.
Yeah, it probably was.
She had called into the show sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think she only came on the show, a couple times when she was in from DC.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She was an instant hit. She's one of the nicest human beings I've ever run into in my life.
Same.
Yes.
She's one of the nicest.
You found a really good friend there.
Yeah. And I have in you as well.
Well, I appreciate that. I have in you too. You've stuck with me for however many years it's been.
I was thinking you've probably been my probably longest friend that I still talk to on.
Do you still talk to Talitha?
I talked to Talitha, but not as much as we did.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it is almost at that 30-minute mark.
Yep.
And
I gotta get out of here. Yeah.
We will get in. I'll send you some more of these questions. But yeah, if anyone wants to play the game, here's the game.
Brew Aha. That was fun. That threw me off a little bit, but it was fun.
I don't know if we mentioned this on last game, but I have been playing Phase 10. Losing,
game.
Still enjoying it and having fun.
Nice.
Sequence, played that a couple times.
Sequence. Lana's a Sequence fan, isn't she?
The other day, I was the Uno and Sequence champion all in one day.
That's a lot for one day.
Although the next day, I was the loser and lost all the Uno and all the Uno games in a row. That being said, Check out The Other People Show on King Network TV. Go to youtube.com/The Other People Show. And also, the podcast will be up starting soon. The Other People Show on Spotify as well. So, you want to add anything, Jake?
That's it. Nope. We'll be back next week. I'll be coming from the great cold north.
Yes, a new location, new show.
New location, new show. Back to our roots of this show.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's where it all started.
I don't have those squirrels looking at me anymore like I used to.
Yeah. Yeah. Because wasn't there like some
I had that big window, and it was all those like wildlife, like watching me do the show through the window.
Yeah.
My empty bottom apartment. So, without any further ado, I am Adam.
I am Jake.
And we will see everyone next week.
Later.
Bye.